Hi, I'm Gina O'Neill. Welcome back to my channel. This is Mr. Q, and he's decided that he's going to um, bless me with his presence today, so I guess you get to be blessed with his presence too. Anyways, he's sitting here on my lap and he's purring, and I don't know whether or not you can hear him or not, but I sure can. Anyways, I'm going to tell you about my weight loss journey and where it started, which was a very long time ago. I believe I was about 15 years old um, when this weight issue all of this sudden became obvious to me. Let me explain. I was dating a fellow, and as a matter of fact, I ended up marrying him, and we were together for 18 years altogether, and that journey was just crazy. But anyways, the beginning of the journey, there was a point when I guess I started gaining a little bit of weight, and my boyfriend at the time decided that he was going to threaten me and say to me that he was going to dump me if I got up to 150 pounds. And I was horrified and then really pissed off. And I thought, you know what? You're not going to do this to me. And I'm going to get to 155 pounds. And then if, at that point, I'm going to address this and I'm going to confront him and I'm going to say, hey, you know what? I'm 150 pounds. What are you going to do now? Well, needless to say, that's what I did. I got up to 155 pounds. And then I went to actually he ended up, like I said, being my husband. But I went to him and I said to him that I was 155 pounds. So are you going to dump me? Well, needless to say, that was just the beginning of our journey. We, were together for 18 years and we had a lovely daughter and we have lovely grandchildren. But our life's journey was definitely a challenging one, to say the least. But that's not what today's story is about. Today's story is about my weight. And so that was kind of the beginning. And then, of course, on and off and up and down and up and down and on and off as far as weight goes for years. It became one of the biggest things in my life that I obviously needed to address. It was very blatantly obvious to everybody else, also including myself. By this point, I had developed eating disorders. There was an awful lot of stuff going on in my life. Needless to say, how I started my weight loss journey that I am now going to be talking about is many years later. As a matter of fact, probably about 5 years ago. I made a conscious decision that it was time for me to lose weight. I had decided that, I've done it a million times and lost hundreds of pounds, and I'm not kidding you. I believe I was, if I add all the pounds up together, probably somewhere between 600 and 800 pounds on all of the times of going up and down and up and down in the scale. So, I definitely have a journey, and, there's definitely, patterns in eating behaviors and all of that stuff that I have addressed. And I am at a point where I look at life from a very different perspective now. I do, my boy. And basically, when I made the decision this time to lose the weight, I knew that this one had to be like the last time. I mean, I'd done it a million times and, hundreds of pounds and whatever. But this time, I decided that it was going to be that I was going to address this. So I know this is kind of crazy, but I spent hours and hours and hours watching my 600-pound life. Now, I'm not getting any money from them or anything for saying any of this. This is my own journey. I used to watch TLC's My 600-Pound Life. And when I watched those shows and I watched these people, I recognized, a few things, a few behaviors here and there. And I knew that if there was one behavior that was already similar between the two of us, or between me and any one of the other people that were on there, the one thing that we had in common was my weight, our weight. So I started listening. I started listening and watching those shows. And I watched them one after the other after the other. And I journaled after every single story because it helped me to open up to a completely different realm, I guess. By journaling, it is something that I've done my entire life, and it's something that just comes very naturally to me. And so when I watch these episodes, I face my demons straight on. I watched their behaviors and watched their behaviors and watched their behaviors until I recognized something in my own with every single one of those people, or almost every single one of those people that were on that show. So on that show, I mean, they did bariatric surgeries and all that sort of stuff, but that's not what I haven't done that. I've done mine all 100% naturally. I have done mine with a lot of effort. I mean, one of the biggest things that I did, and I mean, I've got all sorts of medical problems, and that's kind of the reason why I started with that, but it was wheat. I had to eliminate wheat from my diet. Now, I never figured that it was like gonna, be that big of a deal or whatever, but, I mean, it was. And honestly, that was my problem. That was my biggest issue. I had IBS, or I do have IBS, and I am sensitive to wheat and gluten and all of that sort of stuff. So, part of the journey was coming to the conclusion that no matter how much I didn't like the fact that I seen these people and that I had things in common with them, I had to look at me, my behaviors, and what I did to myself. Well, it's been 5 years, and I don't eat cereal. I eat very minimal pasta, like really minimal. And it's, of course, gluten-free pasta, unfortunately, but whatever. So basically, people, I just want you to know that no matter where you are in life and what you're doing, you can overcome anything. You can overcome weight loss. You can overcome just about anything. All we have to do is face our demons. And facing our demons are very, very hard for most of us. And very, very scary for most of us. I have been blessed with working on myself my entire life. There's a whole story behind everything that I've done and everywhere where I'm going. And eventually I will get there and share the entire story. Right now, I'm just kind of putting it in pieces to give people, I guess, an idea of who I am, what I've been through, and what I represent and why I've decided that it's important for me to come on YouTube, Facebook, and oops, oh, Mr. Q just fell. We're just about to. Careful now, buddy. So basically, I think that we all need to look at ourselves in a whole new way. We can't lose weight unless we deal with our stuff. I mean, sure, yeah, you can exercise and you can lose your weight and you can do that like I did a million times with a million different diets, with exercise galore, with crazy stuff. But we all have choices to make each and every day. And each and every day, those choices are made not by anybody else but ourselves. So people, wake up. If you've got some weight to lose, deal with your issues. Because as long as you don't deal with those issues, you can do all the other stuff. You can do all the exercising, all the walking, all of diets, everything. And you will lose the weight. I pretty well guarantee that, as long as you're determined. However, the one thing that happened to me, guaranteed, was that I always gained it back. So it's a matter of not just losing it, but addressing the issues to prevent myself from gaining it back again. Anyways, thanks for joining me today. Blessings. If you enjoyed my story, please like and subscribe.